Welcome to Tanked Up, episode 206. I'm Ben, I'm here with Aadil.
Hey!
And Lucy.
Hello.
Hello, both of you.
Hi.
Should we get straight into drinking some beers?
Yes, please.
I don't care however you are. I know you're good.
We're all terrible. Oh, the world is falling apart. Everyone knows this. Beer is the only solution.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Shout out to my local cask and craft who delivered me beer like within an hour. So
Jeez, that's good.
Nice.
Are they currently the fastest delivery you've had?
ever, yeah. It's quicker than what is it? Amazon Prime now or whatever it is, where you can in like metropolitan cities where you get in like an hour.
Yep.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Way better.
Nice, good,
And better
delivering.
products.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly an essential service.
Yeah. It's only just Brewdog on Amazon anyway, as far as I know. Yeah.
I didn't even know you could get Brewdog on Amazon. So
I think you can. By like the 24 pack.
Yeah.
Who wants to drink that much punk IPA? I don't know, but you know.
What are you drinking, Lucy?
I am going to start with a beer by Cloudwater and Rock Leopard. It is called
Ooh.
Step Up. It says rich and roasty. An easy drinking stout for chilling together, hanging out, great food and good times. So apart from the hanging out,
We're hanging out
time. Yeah.
down the
Hanging
street.
out in person.
Yes.
The great food, good times, chilling together. Shall I read what's on here?
Yeah.
It's 5%, by the way. Ooh, this is a lot to read, so I'll just go to the tasting notes. Aroma and flavour. Roasted malt, coffee and light smoke on the nose with flavours of soft caramel, plum and brown toast. Body, medium bodied and smooth with a dry finish. Aftertaste, bitter roasted notes and dark chocolate.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sounds lush.
I hope it is.
Have you had anything from Rock Leopard before?
No? This is the first time I'm hearing them,
Yeah.
to be honest. So.
I've had a couple of beers from them. I think they're another Brighton based, or not quite Brighton based, but that area, one of those missing link brewery, nomad brewer type things that brew with missing link and stuff. I think I may be wrong in that, but that's what I remember of them. But yeah, the beers I've had from them have been nice so far. Aadil, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Mosaic IPA from Black's Brewery. I'm going to give you one guess of what the hop is. Black's Brewery escapes the mundane of the mass market, producing beers with passion, personality, and lots of hops. A showcase of Mosaic hops in this American-style IPA, heavy on the juicy tropical fruit aromas and flavors, intense tropical fruits and citrus, with plenty of fresh pine resin, a properly juicy hoppy beauty. The hops are Mosaic, and the IBU is 80, brewed in Cork.
Nice. Blacks are pretty good. Had a few beers from them over the years. Solid. I am going to drink 2 beers this evening, which I picked up in Morrison's. Morrison's have saved me this week because I have no beer otherwise. More beer is arriving in the next couple of days. It's been shipped, I think now. A big order has been shipped. But I think I'm going to go back and do like a Bottles and Books order because Lewis is now delivering. I'm just within the radius, so I think I should do an order with him next week. But for this week, I am drinking first from Brew York. This is Juice Forsyth, a juicy bonus fruited IPA, 5%. You can see a little silhouette of the namesake. The flavour text: good game, good game. I don't think I can do a Bruce Forsyth impression. Do you want to go higher? Higher? Then enjoy this juicy bonus fruited IPA that combines Cascade, Citra, CTZ, and Mosaic hops with Muchos, pineapple, passion fruit, and mango For a tropical explosion as bold and juicy as the legendary entertainer, this salutes. Nice to see you. To see you.
To see you.
No one
Nice.
says anything. There you go. Thanks, Lucy. It's quite cleverly. It also has a cuddly toy rating of 4 bears out of 5. Pretty cute. Big on the fruit, big on the sweetness. It suggests on its little graphic, its little webbed graphic on the back there. It's just come into focus, maybe. Yeah. Very pleased to see Brew York in Morrison's.
Yeah,
They've obviously massively expanded on the breweries that they are getting in, which is brilliant. Come at the perfect time as well. So,
they're Toncoco stouts. Their milk stout and imperial stouts probably the best stouts I've had, really.
Yeah, they are fantastic.
So good.
I did have one not last week, week before, which was the Juice Campbell versus the Army of Dankness beer, and that's very nice. Absolutely full of sediment on the bottom of that can. But we'll come back to this beer in a moment. Lucy, how's the collab?
It's very dark, as you'd expect. Nice, light brown, foamy head. About half a finger. Definitely getting like lots of coffee on the aroma. Yeah, just pretty much just coffee, not much else.
Yeah.
Not much sweetness or maybe a little biscuitiness.
Little biscuity.
Little biscuity. It in terms of its body, they did say medium bodied. They're spot on with that, because as you're sipping it, it's like, ooh, this might be a bit thin. I mean, it is only 5%, but then when it starts to settle, when you start to drink more of it, it's definitely got a bit of heft to it, which is nice. Not too much, but just enough where it's not too thin.
Yeah. It is always the worry, isn't it, when they're on those lower percentages.
Definitely still getting that coffee, and there's not much else, to be fair. That's not a bad thing, because it's a very pleasant, like, light coffee flavour. But you're not getting like any sweetness or anything like that. Yeah, just like dark malts and coffee. It's pretty straightforward. If anyone's ever had like a stout before in their lives, it's pretty much that. But it's very pleasant. I can't describe why it's like, oh, I'm vibing with this beer more than like some other 5% stouts that I've had previously. But yeah, it's just pleasant drinking. It's nice, you know. There's nothing amazing about it. It's just a well done. I wouldn't say well balanced, because it's just coffee. That's all I'm getting. But it's a nice coffee flavour. It's not too strong and acrid and overpowering. It's just subtle enough, but it's, you know, still getting those coffee flavours that you want from a stout. But yeah, it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe well made rather than well balanced, perhaps. Like hitting those right notes, comforting, all of those sorts of things. That it's just sort of that you're kind of stuff that you want, but it's difficult, isn't it, when we expect a little bit more, when you're always looking for that extra little layer of something. You know, I think especially with stuff like stouts and darker beers and porters, you can get away maybe with doing something that's a bit more one note. Beer style kind of gives you.
Yeah. Got a bit of breadiness to it.
Didn't they, I think?
What is it? Yeah, and brown. I'm not really getting any like dark fruits from it. But it's like if I went somewhere and said, you know, I just want a nice stout, and like say, oh, Guinness is the only thing on, and Guinness always tastes like Guinness at the end of the day. It's like, oh, okay, that's nice. This is like, if this was there and I just wanted a stout, I'd order something like this.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good beer. It's very good.
Good. Nice. Adil, how was yours?
It's really good. It's nice, good, slightly hazy, well, hazy amber color. The color's probably a little closer now that I've dragged out of the light over. It's a little colder, so you're getting less of the yellow wash than previous week. So it looks, looking at the camera, it looks basically very close to what it looks like to me in real life. So that's plus of using light. Also, now you can tell that this is not just shadow, but a full-on Corona neck beard. It's got really nice tropical fruit, sort of passion fruity, maybe a little stone fruit, like a little peach on there. Still reasonably light. It's mosaic through and through. It comes in. It again hits those tropical fruits. Light bit of citrus, some stone fruit in there as well. But what I really like is on my first sip, when that faded, I got hit by that resiny, piney taste really hard, and it's like, oh shit, like it goes tropical to pine, like faster than most mosaic beers, faster than I was expecting. But that leaves you with a really satisfying bitter finish. So it's not super strong, but it's long. It's got long legs to forgive the abuse of the term legs because I'm not using it in the right way. It's got a long finish that's bitter but not really strong, and it's got this piney undertone, and it's but it leaves you wet. So like it's not bitter. Grab another sip. It's bitter. Like and it's light enough that it's like I can luxuriate in this, even though it's quite a strong bitter taste because it's sort of not too like the taste is strong, but the amount of it isn't.
Yep.
And then on subsequent sips, that sort of shift to piney resinous is really relaxed. Like clearly, once I got sort of the taste of the beer in my mouth, the transition is much smoother. I think clearly that long finish is helping just flatten out that taste curve. Wow, I'm doing flattening out the curve, eh, hey folks? Yikes. Yeah, so it's really tasty. I was sort of like, oh wow, that's a big transition. I've never had that.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Cut his mic off.
Yeah. But it actually works. It works exceedingly well once you're used to the taste. So I'm really glad of that because I like the amount of pininess, but that shift was like surprising. Part of it was because you just don't expect it to be that strong of a piney taste, but also just because it was kind of a jarring move. But like by the second sip, it wasn't nearly as jarring. So really, really tasty. And like we've talked a lot about the sort of nuances and styles of IPAs over the past few years of going, super juicy. When they came like 5 years ago, IPAs were like bitter bombs, and then we've sort of left that. But then we've talked like last summer. I think we talked about how it's kind of, IPAs still aren't quite being bitter enough. There's still like that flow towards juice bombs. There's something often you're getting IPAs that sort of seem to lose that core notion of what we think an IPA is, and this is doing that, and it's doing it really well. And it's not one note, but it's not a lot of notes.
Sure.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
This is it's nice. This is kind of almost the opposite end of yours. There's no kind of pininess in there at all. It is just juice. It's a little bit wet, a little bit thin on the mouthfeel. It's sort of very I don't know. I'd say it's probably a little oranger
nice
than you're seeing kind of on the thing. Yes. Almost no head to it whatsoever. It doesn't have I expected it to kind of, with the flavour I'm getting, I expected it to have a bit of carbonation to it, but it doesn't. It's quite flat, but it is just pure fruit. That is it. It was on the nose. It's coming through a lot more in the taste, but that passion fruit really comes through a lot, and I think the pineapple is there as well, building. The mango, I think, is maybe they're just balancing things out a little bit, bringing a bit more of a stony fruit kind of sort of feels that. But the passion fruit is really the big flavour. It's so sweet. I know they said on the back of the can that fruit and that sweetness were the the big bits, and it is exactly that. It's kind of almost got this slightly, I don't want to say like bubblegummy sweet. It's almost like a candy kind of sweetness in there as well. It's just the combination of those fruits which make it feel even sweeter than kind of each of those individual fruits would be. But it's very, 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 very sweet. And that sweetness that is what sticks with you a lot. It's one of those where I think I'm going to have to brush my teeth after drinking it, just because the amount of sugar I think is probably floating around. But it doesn't really taste like a beer. It's a slightly dialed back sort of fruit juice. You'd expect this kind of combination of fruits from like a tropical juice mix. You've grabbed straight out of the fridge in the morning to go to as like your morning drink. This is that dialed back just a little bit, not quite as thick either, a little bit more wet, a little bit more watery.
Ben, my morning drink is beer, so
have this, mate. You'll be well away. Best of both worlds. Well, say best of both worlds. I could have seen this if this had maybe just that little bit of finish on the end, just a lingering bitterness with it. It would have made this really, really, really good. I mean, it's going back really, really quickly because it is just so easy to drink. But again, that's just because it's just pure fruit.
Right.
So I shall probably stop drinking it to tell you what it tastes like, just to slow down a little bit.
I will add on this. I don't know if I said it was 6.5%, but it is. But also, there's a bit of, I think what's helping that piney resininess in the finish is that it actually, despite being like one hop based, like we're showing off a hop, it actually finishes kind of malty, and it's that it's the resininess of the mosaic, that pininess coupled with a hoppy finish or a malty finish that actually gives it that really unique finish. That
nice.
It's got a bit of that, a touch of like biscuit.
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, just noticed that's what was bringing it together.
Cool. Nice. So, we will move on to our topics for this week. Who wants to kick off? Who wants to talk about some games? Oh, Aadil. Fingers in the air. He's ready to go.
Oh my god.
I've played a game for 3 or 4 days straight.
Is it the game of life?
I get rewarded by playing the game in subsequent days.
Super hexagon.
No, fuck yeah. I should. That's what I should do. I should fucking forsake everything and see if I can finally beat all the levels of Super Hexagon. This is my new pandemic goal. Next week, you're just gonna be twitching.
Yeah, you won't do it. No one's done that. No one's beaten that game.
Yeah, I think all the Steam achievements past level 2 are just lies and slander. No, it's You see, so I go out of my house and I walk to this the main place in the area mat, and there's a little ATM, and every day if I check the ATM once, it gives me extra points or miles, Nook miles.
Oh, I see.
I may have bought this game for £40 a few hours ago.
Oh, excellent. Good, Lucy. Well, I can give you some mild tips and tricks.
Okay.
Yes, it's Animal Crossing's New Horizons Zero Dawn.
You can see Ben dying inside because he thought he was going to talk about Final Fantasy.
I know. Sorry, Ben. I got
I think I've asked you
my
every
God.
day. Like, how's Final Fantasy? How's Final Fantasy? How's Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
And now you can talk about some raccoon dog.
Some goddamn baby games.
It's okay. There's a lot of people who talked about this game. I mean, if Lucy, you've got it, maybe we'll hold off until next week to talk about it in detail.
Go ahead. I Well, it depends how much it addicts me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a great thing to wake up in this modern hellscape, be like, instead of watching some random YouTube video, I'm not ready for the real world. I'm not ready to get out of bed. Oh, I'll grab my Switch. I'll go because it's obviously Animal Crossing game, right? So you've got to gather resources, and they refresh every day. So I wake up and there's a new set of stones to smack around. There's secrets on how to get the optimal smacking around of stones. There's all the fruit trees every couple days regrow all their fruit. So if you pick everything dry then every 2 days you got to run around your island and pick up fruit. But that also you can also shake trees to get branches, smack trees with axes to get wood.
He's too into it. I was saying,
like stuff that washes up. So I started with pears, and then I got sent an orange in the mail. But I finally played with. Yeah.
You can explain that, or
so the way you grow trees in Animal Crossing of fruit is literally you take the fruit, you dig a hole, you throw the fruit in the ground, and it starts growing a tree.
that's how you do it in real life, though, as well.
Well, I think you usually just take the seed out.
No,
you
you
don't
can
just
throw
throw a
the
mushy
whole
through. Yeah.
You
It's also
definitely
not
can.
guaranteed that would work.
Yeah.
To be honest, what this game really needs is like grow some malts, grow some hops.
I was genuinely gonna make a beer island.
Yeah. So I because
What
of
do you name
character
your island?
restrictions, I'm Omni.
Oh, I didn't.
What?
Because I have my island name, but I hope it takes it now. With Nintendo's weird. This could be swearing or something.
What's your
Ooh,
island?
what did you
I was
call
going to
it?
call it Booty Island.
So one of the things I
Which
don't
is-
like.
Pirates, mate. Pirates, booty.
It's
Yeah.
well, it was more a take on Monkey Island series. 'Cause
Right. Yeah.
There's an island
the-
called Booty Island. Monkey Island.
My biggest complaint. I was looking for island puns too, and then I checked into it, and it turns out that they almost never refer to the island as blank island.
That's fun.
Although, so like you don't get the funny blank island jokes.
Oh, that's fine.
so-
It was just going to be a me
yeah.
thing anyway.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's
But
cool.
I realized the name that I use constantly is what I would do. So I built the Bristopia. Because that's my nickname for my home city anyway. And you know what? It can be both the utopia that I run away from and also the dystopia of, good lord, I'm not facing the real world. It's the Bristopia.
So many layers. Many layers there. That's good.
But yesterday, my friend Elena also has a game, and she came by last night, and she just had a bunch of extra saplings of both her island was apples and then peaches, and so she's just like, I have 10 of each. I don't know what to do with them. So first time I played with someone else, and she just flew over. And she's like, where do you want them? So I'm like, dig a bunch of holes. And she's like, there you go.
And to
so
clarify, she came over in the game.
Yeah.
Not in real life.
Obviously, yeah.
Just in case people are like, "Oh, social
Responsible distancing.
Yeah, but I think that's so. And then we ran around the island and we chatted a bit, and she showed me some of her more advanced outfits and some of her furniture, and she said,
Oh, yeah?
hey, I like your house. Yeah,
Oh,
and then
yeah?
she ran off, and it was shut up. Oh, I didn't even realize what I was saying.
Lace.
Yeah. Oof. But it was so one, I now have 4 times as many fruit coming.
Oh,
4 out of 10 now, which is good.
Nice.
to pay your debts.
But she also gave me a ladder. So general thing, you start out and you've got a flat section of the island that you have full run of, and it'll be bounded by some stream. And then if you progress a little within a day or two of progression, you'll get a recipe for a pole, and that allows you to cross streams. So it kind of gives you the second tier of the island. And then I haven't actually unlocked the third tier, which when you build the store, basically, it gives you a ladder. recipe, and the ladder gets you to the literally the high tier of the island.
So is this a bit like Death Stranding? Where you have to kind of,
No.
climb across the environment using various tools?
I mean, kind of actually, because Elena just was like, "Oh, do you have the ladder yet?" I was like, "No." So she's like, "Cool, I'll bring one," and then she just threw on the ground on my island, and I picked it up.
Making stuff and sharing it with other people.
So Animal Crossing is the next Stranding game.
Yeah.
So I got to a couple days early see the rest of my island, but I kind of. So here's some weird thing. One of the first things you do is you de-weed your island, and then you can sell the weeds for like $10 a pop, and that's enough to get the early part of the game going. But then it's not a lot of money, but also they've made the mistake of kind of making the weeds aesthetically appealing. I like the ground cover, like when you have trees and these weeds. I mean, sometimes they get in the way because they're actual ground objects. So if you're like beating up a stone or a tree, things might bounce off of a weed because it's not flat ground, and then bounce into the water. But so like there's some landscaping you do, but I actually left both the second and third tiers fairly weed full because apparently they grow really slowly back in the island because obviously most people want. But it's like I don't want a like super manufactured island. I kind of like the idea of it having a wilderness in the backyard for at least a while, and I like the idea. But yeah, so I'm
back there getting sexy outfits, growing weeds.
Yeah.
I mean, this is does sound like
You
Bristol.
said it
to
was
be
a
fair.
kids game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a kids game in Bristol. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, did I not mention the cat?
What kind of holes can you stay in for days?
Yeah. Oh, so there's like weird things that you unless you. So I like trying to figure out things myself, but I've stumbled upon some stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Like so every day like spots spawn where you can dig and that'll get fossils, and one of the first buildings you get is like a museum, and you can once you talk to the owl who will like inspect your fossils. God.
Yep.
He'll inspect your fossils, and then you can either donate them to the museum or keep them to display in your house or whatever. But like, I could go on with little details. But so one of the things is like, if it's a glowing hole in the ground, you'll dig up money, and it turns out if you can put up to 10,000 bell bag of money into the hole, and it'll grow a money tree.
Oh wow. Okay.
So when the tree is full grown, it'll give you 3 times as much money as you dumped in the hole.
Oh. Is it like a big time investment? Is it like a week's worth of... Okay.
Real world days.
Yeah, because the whole game is real world tied, which is kind of neat. So like, if you only play at night, you will literally only never see the sun.
That's neat.
Which is one of the reasons why I started playing it first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
But like,
hook you all day. Yeah.
See that virtual sun?
Yeah, you can go online and see people do Let's Plays and stuff, but I think a lot of people are talking about how the interaction... So one, it's doing things you can't do right now. Like, I mean, these games are chore games.
Yeah.
But they're chores that, like, running around outside to do chores that you can't do in the real world. And that's one of the reasons why it's hit in a way that it would never have otherwise.
Can I get a car in this game?
I don't know. I don't.
Because I went and turned over my car today, so I went for a drive. I was just like, oh, I miss driving. You know?
Oh, I bet it's super nice to drive now because I bet there's like no traffic.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when there was like one slow person in the road, I was just like, come on.
She's just walking along, you're beeping at her, get out of the fucking road!
No, not pedestrians, I'm at another drive.
But yeah, but also like it was really fun to just run around. Like I haven't seen Elena in a few years, but it was just fun to run around and hang out. Just
yeah, that's nice.
In a way that felt like you were outside but not. So like I want to explore that social space a little more. But honestly, just the superb soundtrack and the fact that it changes sort of per hour and on other variables.
Nice.
I think it's time of day and weather, and also progression in the game will change how much variation there is in the music. But it just it's the right kind of game to just play because like escapism really works.
Yeah,
But the
I
fact
get
that you do have this ability to go to each other's islands and hang out is great. Except, of course, it's a Nintendo game, so talking on Animal Crossing
Discord.
is a fucking chore. Yeah, exactly. I was like,
I was about
I literally
to say,
typed
did
to
you
her,
do Discord?
like, Elena, can you just, like, next time you want to play this, I'm happy to play with you, but, like, can we just go on Discord and hang out? Because typing is awful. And, of course, we were trying to, like, figure out, so in order for her to plant on my island, because I made a dodo code, which is like and I made one so anyone could come if they knew the code. And that meant that she couldn't touch. She could visit, but she couldn't affect it. So she couldn't plant the trees or drop items or anything. But once we played together, because it's Nintendo, we couldn't be friends, even though we were friends on Switch. We became friends on Switch, and then she's like, "I'd like to come over." I'm like, "Cool." Nope, you can't come over. I can't be best friends with you on Animal Crossing until I've literally played Animal Crossing with you. And on Animal Crossing, you'll appear on the Animal Crossing friends list, and then I can add you to best friends. And if you accept, then you can put stuff on my island.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I get the best friend thing, but you should just be able to go for your friends list. It's like, this person's going to be my best friend.
I mean, I'm if it was a third-party game, maybe. It's still garbage, but maybe. But the fact that it's a Nintendo game on the Switch, this is fucking. It was, and like.
They will never.
You hit right trigger, and then you get like half a screen turns into the keyboard, and you have to like type through. And so if you're in handheld mode, you can't use your touchscreen, which would be faster. So then you're just kind of using. No, you can. I'm just saying, like, obviously, if you're holding it and the keyboard is half the Switch, then you're like claw holding and typing, or you're just trying to type quickly.
Like palming
or you let go of the controls entirely, and you're like, it's just. But I'd like to play more. I know there's a lot of people I know on like Facebook groups and stuff who have it. So I was kind of wanting to just go a little further in the game before it's like, let's fuck around and see what other islands are.
Nice.
And it sounds like there's a lot of reasons to interact with people, like the so-called stock market. That's STALK, because apparently there's turnip investments.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that some other time because
I don't think we have 6 hours to go into a full economic dive into the turnip market.
I think the point is there's enough different gameplay loops. Like you can crossbreed flowers and stuff if you care. I don't. I don't. That's not a thing I'll do. I actually I like fishing. And it turns out you can like dig clams up on the beach to create fish bait, which is nice because that puts another thing in your fishing loop. Instead of just like running around being like, oh, has a fish spawned? You can, while you're trolling the beach, you can be like, oh, here's some fish bait. Now I have enough of these. I can just sit in the spot, kind of just fish off the dock.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think this is probably like one of the only games that I've got caught up in the zeitgeist with. Because usually I'm just like, I know if I'm going to enjoy a game or not. Like, people could talk about Final Fantasy VII till they're blue. And I
will. Don't worry, Ben. I will.
And it's like, okay, I know that game's not for me, but this one, it's just like, because maybe I know now what Animal Crossing is, because I've never played Animal Crossing before, and it sounds like there's enough direction in there and enough objectives where I'm just not going to be like, oh, I don't know what to do. I can play those sorts of games, like I did have like on Vita. I tried Stardew. I just couldn't get into it. But something like Minecraft, I played for like several months on Vita, and I got really into it. And then I was like, well, there's no direction there, so maybe that'll happen with this eventually. But it'd be good to try it out at least. I mean, it just looks cute anyway. So
yeah, I mean, to be honest, a lot of it is just like running around with fun music and having your avatar that you can dress up and like you kind of do what I want, and like even if I only play it for like minimal resource gathering per day. So the other big thing that I haven't gotten really in depth on is like there's bells and then there's Nook Miles, and Nook Miles have like like games set achievements, but also a set of once you move to the second house, like when you change your house to a tent, you're gonna do a new rewards mile, which has like 5 active, basically quests that give you small amounts of Nook miles, and then as soon as one goes away, another one comes up.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
the
that
sort
gives
of
you
structure I need. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's nice about that, it's like, okay, I guess I have to plant 2 trees to get 200 more miles, and why that's good is because not only can you visit other friends' things, but you can spend 2,000 miles to visit a procedural generated island that you get to go to once. And so, like, you're low on resources, you can burn 2,000 miles, or you're just bored, right? You can burn 2,000 miles.
Colonialism, the game.
Yeah.
Jesus.
and
Run out of resources here. Let me just go rape and pillage this other island.
Yeah.
Let someone else charge me to let me do that.
So, or like, for example, the reason why I haven't upgraded the store is because I need 30 iron nuggets, and you only get those out of stones. And your island starts with 6 stones, and you can only hit them once a day. And if you don't know how to optimize, like, they can get a maximum of 8 things out of them, but it's really hard to do because you basically get recoil when you hit the stone. You have a certain amount of time between the first hit to be able to get the last hit.
Right.
Which is why there's a tip of being at an angle and digging a hole on your 90 degrees and on your 45 and your 90, I guess, such that when you recoil, the hole in the ground will block you getting sent to the next square, so you can hit it 8 times in a row. But you can only do that once a day.
Yep.
And also, it turns out if you eat fruit, which they tell you to do, you can then use the shovel to dig up an entire tree instead of just saplings. But also, if you smack a stone while you have fruit in your system, you break it. They said eat fruit, so I ate fruit, and then I was like, oh, I guess I should hit stones, and I broke all of the ones that were available, and I made it. And so you respawn 1 stone a day. I looked it up, but it means I can't get enough things because I'm waiting. Like, I fucked myself on day 1.
Does it feel
but
like...
I'm okay with that because I'm glad I didn't try and, like, I think the worst thing you could do with a game like this is just look up what the optimal path is. I mean, unless you have a specific type of the way that you want to play the game, because you lose the adventure where it's like, oh,
yeah, I want to like discover things organically in this game, because that's what I found so rewarding about like Breath of the Wild, just that exploration and stuff and learning new things, and that's what I want from this game. So
yeah, like I learned the tip on the stones from the Giant Bomb Quick Look, where Abby's just like, "There's a strat."
Ah, okay.
And that was one of the reasons I ended up getting the game. I just watched, like, I didn't even finish the Quick Look. I was just like, well, let's see what they're doing. And so I knew that was a thing.
Yeah, the Nintendo Minute video sold me on it. When
I don't think I saw
2 of them. It's 2 people from Nintendo, and they usually get together in a studio and just record stuff. And it was like, oh, we can't do it in real life, so we'll do it in the game. And it was just, they made their own little, recording studio. It's like, oh, this looks so cute.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I also learned was, like, when you get the axe upgrade, there's 2 different axes, the stone and the regular axe. If you hit a tree with the regular axe 3 times, you chop it down. It's gone. Took me a big chunk of my island before I got the timing right. And then I was like, wait, will this grow back? Oh, it won't. There's a stump there now.
Yeah.
Oops. But also, you can sit on stumps, because I was like, if you just run into a thing, if you can sit on it, you sit on it. I'm like, oh. So that's kind of neat, because it's like, oh, if you want a rustic thing, you could just grow a tree beside, like, someone's house.
Oh, yeah.
And then cut it down, and it becomes a seat. And you're like, oh,
nice.
That's a neat little, like, thing I wouldn't have thought. I'm sure people have said on the internet, but I figured that out.
No, yeah, that's what I sometimes miss about non-internet days.
Yeah, games. Yeah,
it's like, oh, you discover something organically, and it's like, you tell somebody, and you still have that same effect that it would be like looking at the internet. But it's like, oh, really? Someone told me this. I cannot corroborate it. I have to go try it myself. And it's like, yeah, I miss those times. I'm sure we all miss times that were like 2 months ago. But I miss those particular times. Yeah, you just find out things organically. Like playing The Witness, I finally played and finished that game. It's just like, oh, I wish there wasn't a guide I could look at, you know?
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I did like probably about 85% of those puzzles without like any hints. I think the IGN guide's really good because they give you hints first.
Okay.
Before just saying like,
that's
look.
really smart for that type of game.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just like, I wish this wasn't here and I just had to figure it out over the course of probably months or something like that, you know?
Right.
Reminds me of like old school point and click games, playing those where it's like, no, there is no. Well, there might have been game facts back then, but like, yeah, there's no like clear walkthrough and stuff like that. They can just look up in a second, you know. So.
Yeah. It's
Long
reams
for
and
those
reams
times.
and reams of text you have to read through to be able to remember what point you're at to see where you are on this point and click adventure and stuff. Yeah, rather than now just itemized and optimized sites where you can just go, I'm here, and it tells you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a game that I bought on sale on Switch, She Remembers Caterpillars, when I played that pre-release. My lord, that was tough. But it's like, I figured all that out on my own. It was just like, yeah. You remember this?
It'd be the same with when we were playing Filament a few weeks ago.
Oh, man.
You saw some of those puzzles just thinking, what the fuck? How do I get this one? And there's nothing, it's not released, there's nothing to look at, there's nothing to lean on. So
puzzle games, I think I'm too beholden to the idea that I shouldn't look up things because maybe I'll just continue to use them. But that's also why I rarely finish them. And so I think I need to take a page from Lucy's book, which is being okay with it, and then just learning your own boundaries instead of having this strict rule that means I just stop games, right?
yeah.
I think with games like The Witness or Babbitt Is You, it's like, no, don't look up a walkthrough because you're not interpreting the language of it. You don't understand why you do that. But stuff like where it is just like Filament, where it's like, oh, I just can't wrap my head around this one, I'm not seeing it, then fair enough. But
I think you're supposed to wrap the filaments, not your head.
But the stuff like The Witness is like, okay, I know how to do this type of puzzle, it's just that I cannot see this solution for the life of me, you know?
I've done these previous 4.
Yeah,
This
I know
is
what's going on.
just not get
But those Tetramino puzzles in The Witness are the worst.
Yeah.
Masterpiece.
The Witness is so
Very
good.
good.
Such a good game.
It's probably like in 2016 I'd call Inside and Witness perfect games, you know? Perfectly crafted games.
I'm going to have to pick it up once I'm done with FF7.
Yeah,
you must have it in a library somewhere. It's been free on almost every service. Yeah.
No, I definitely have it.
But play it on PC. Don't play it on console. Because I started it on PlayStation 4. I played it. I've now got this like clip that I can put on an Xbox controller and I play on my phone.
So it's you.
So I could take
connect your
screenshots
Xbox.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's just like a mobile. So for those who aren't on the watching the video, it's a little mount that connects to your controller and allows you to hold on to the phone, and then you Bluetooth connect the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Bluetooth. Well, I think the latest iOS 13 update allows you to use any Bluetooth controller. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, thank God. And like a tested Steam Link as well. Works great.
Oh God,
nice.
How'd that go?
I can play Hitman on my iPhone in bed. So.
I mean, that's actually...
I don't need anything else in life.
That's
good.
Right. I mean, that's real good. Yeah.
It worked great. Yeah.
How do you find the size of the screen on something like Hitman?
I tried it on this one because I don't know what size of that screen. It's an iPhone 8. It's probably like 4 inches.
Yeah, between 3.5 to 4 inches roughly.
Yeah. And then I tried it with my iPhone 6 Plus, my previous phone, and with Steam Link, and I was like, okay, I can't use the Bluetooth controller, but if I hook up the Bluetooth controller with my PC and then use Steam Link on the phone, it doesn't matter that that particular iPhone can't connect with the controller because the controller's connected to the computer, and that seemed to work. But it's like, it seems like an extra step that I don't care for. So
Right.
I don't know. I'll just squint or finally get glasses. One of the two.
Who's that bald man?
I definitely can't read the barcode.
Yeah.
I can't see it, but I think I know Hitman well enough to be able to, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Should we open some more beers?
Yeah.
Always. I mean, yes.
Yes. Lucy, what are you going to drink next?
I am drinking another stout because it's that kind of evening. This is called
Turning into
Surreal.
me.
Oh no, not a porter though. So, this is a surreal surreal stout from Magic Rock, Dark Arts Hazelnut. It's got chocolate, hazelnut, and vanilla in it.
Nice.
It's in the 330ml can. Let's have a look. It's 6%. What has it got in it?
Hazelnuts?
Yeah, nothing other than hazelnut and vanilla. It doesn't really say anything on the back. Barley, hazelnut. Yeah, it just says barley and hazelnut.
Fair enough.
Barley, hazelnut. Okay.
Is that because they're allergens? Is that why it's
guess.
told you those two things?
I mean, is anyone allergic to vanilla or chocolate?
I mean, is anyone?
Probably not. What about lactose intolerant?
Yeah, if it's got lactose in it, you'd have to
I
say
think
it,
it
wouldn't
didn't
you?
say it's got lactose, but it's got maybe chocolate, hazelnut, and vanilla are just the flavours.
Maybe. Is
Not
there any?
exactly adjuncts.
Is there a little vegan mark on it or anything like that?
No, I can't. Hold on. No, I can't see one actually.
No. So there may be something in there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
What
hold
was
on.
the- what was
registered by the Vegan Society. What does that mean?
Just registered. It's just on a list somewhere.
Is it
in
a bad
building.
list? Like if you're
Yeah, who
registered on
knows?
the sex offenders list? Is it always registered by Vegan Society? You cannot just drink this.
Oh no.
I don't know.
What was the percent? I missed it.
Was it? Oh, was it 6.5? No, just 6.
6.
That was
Cool.
a deal's bit. 6.
Adam.
Lively.
I'm drinking a Galway Bay Brewery Brewed at Sea Milk Stout, 4.5%. Okay. That's just about the brewery. No text except that they use barrels. Classic style. Yeah, they do other things. They do all kinds of ways of brewing. Galway Bay Brewery. Yeah, it's just a 4.5% milk stout. It's a lovely orangey can.
Nice.
Oh yeah, with fish.
Oh yes, yeah. Just wonder what there's a very strange shape of things going on, but yeah, fish very much makes sense on a moving, wandering can when it's not quite focusing very well.
Sorry, I mean you could there's the angle maybe a little better. Oh
yeah, nice.
yeah.
Cool. I, as my second bit, have got a collaboration. Morrison's are the supermarket which have a lot of Northern Monk in them. And I've got the Northern Monk Alpha Delta Brewing collaboration called Order of the Faith. It's a double dry hopped IPA at 6.5%.
Nice.
It has a little label on the top that says a twist of faith. I assume it's maybe they've taken Faith, the Northern Monk beer, and they have changed it in some way. Let's see what it says. It has got Citra, Mosaic, Comet, and Simcoe in it. It's brewed in the north with Andrew Bissett, who is Brethren number 9. What else does it say? Anything about the beer? No. And only the hops are given to me in the ingredients. It does also just say, hang on, malted barley, oats, wheat, hops and yeast. So yeah, not a huge amount of information. Even though it looks like there's loads sort of stacked up on the side of the can. It just tells me about Northern Monk, really. Well, I'm going to crack this one open. So, Lucy. Ooh.
Yeah. I don't actually want to drink mine because I'm just too busy sniffing at it. As soon as I crack the can, you could smell the hazelnut. It smells like a dairy milk hazelnut chocolate. It's just divine.
Ooh, nice. Is it Kinder Buenos? Is that hazelnut?
Yeah, or Ferrero
Rocher.
Rocher.
Yeah, Ferrero Rocher. That's because apologies, but I don't know what Kinder Bueno hazelnut smells like. But anyway, Ferrero Rocher. Yeah, it's got that lovely dark velvety chocolate aroma to it with sweetness. I mean, poured a nice large head of like honeycomb, and I don't want to drink it. I just want to smell it. I would bottle this smell if I could. Can it?
Can it? That's it, mate. Just every time you crack it, you get that. Yeah. That's good sound.
Yeah, I didn't want to drink it because I was like, no way it can live up to this smell. But yeah, the taste. You're getting all that hazelnut. This is a great beer.
Nice.
I don't want to say anything else. I don't care what I'm saying. It's just so good. Like the hazelnut is just, it's there and it's got that roastiness. You're getting a bit of sweetness from the chocolate and the vanilla. It's not too heavy. It's medium bodied like the last one. But this has just got so much more depth and richness of flavour rather than just coffee. This has all those elements like just coming together and harmonising and yeah, I mean maybe it helps because I really like hazelnuts.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But ooh, yeah, that's a good beer.
Oh, I like it.
It's just full and it's just full and foamy enough. It's like you're not even. It's not heavy, but you're not missing like that thickness, that viscosity from like other stouts. It's just, yeah. I have nothing else to say.
That's
I
fair.
just
That's
want
good.
to drink this. This will be done before you two finish talking.
Yeah. All right, Aadil, we'll go quickly.
Well,
Aadil.
I forgot to taste it. It's got a bit of a little bit of a coffee smell. This milk stout. And obviously a little sweetness on the nose. Oh wow, it's got a finish and a half. It finishes. It kind of goes quickly. The taste. Let me have another quaff. It's very much a milk stout. Much more on the burnt coffee, toffee notes. Not a lot stays around like that. It's a really quick taste, and then it finishes. Like I said, that burnt coffee sort of taste is primary. The sweetness lingers with the finish as well, which is really nice. It won't last long because again that primary taste is like, oh yeah, you're having a milk, like you're having a stout and a little bit of sweetness. It's actually not as sweet as I was thinking it would be. They've definitely they haven't overdone the lactose, so it's sweet, but it's still very much a stout. And then, like I said, it finishes sort of bitter, burnt, malty. And then the lactose is just sort of sitting there as a fine layer of sweetness to make sure you're not getting like worn out of that bitter taste. But it's not, you know, sometimes, a lot of times you have a milk stout and it's like, this is a sweet beer that has these other tastes. This is a primarily stout in that, again, like burnt coffee toffee malty sense that has a layer of sweetness on top from the lactose. Instead of the lactose being front and center. It's really good. I feel like the aftertaste of my mouth is kind of like, did I just have some coffee? Like, it is really that like coffee note. It's 4.5%, not too boozy. Like I said, I really like the taste. I think my biggest complaint is that the initial taste, like the taste, disappears really quickly, and that has this gorgeous finish that I really like, but I kind of want it to wait a few more seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I want to enjoy the taste before moving on to enjoy the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I like both, but it's like, oh, I guess I'm on the finish again. So that's why I suspect that I'm... 'Tis not long for this world. This beer is my suspicion.
I think I'm, again... my first beer was kind of the opposite to your first beer, Adil. I think how I feel about this beer is almost opposite to how you both feel. This might stick around for a little bit longer. It's not inviting me back too much to drink it quickly. It's very, very light. It's
almost like a whitish.
Yeah,
whitish.
you can just see through it.
Not on your shitty camera.
Yeah.
You're very pixelated right now.
Oh no. The internet is shit the bed.
You just reminded me. I was going to stream this as an experiment. And forgot.
Yeah, we forgot. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
Next time, maybe.
Oh my
with
God.
everyone's.
Oh, what's up?
We have breaking news.
Oh.
Carry on, Ben.
What is the
What
is the breaking news?
I'll tell you quickly. This is very grapefruity. It's very easy. There's a bit of bitterness towards the end.
Ben. Yeah, carry on.
There's not much more going on with this. I'm surprised it's an IPA rather than a pale ale. It's a little thin.
Okay, It's one of those IPAs that's like, I don't think you've got enough of that India in you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the nose and the flavour are almost exactly the same. That from the double dry hopping, I assume they're getting a lot more of that in the nose to make the flavour almost exactly the same. But yeah, bit of grapefruit, a little bit of bitterness towards the end. It's pretty solid, but I don't think it stacks up to New World IPA from Northern Monk or even their newer World IPA, the slightly higher percentage one that they put out in a bigger can as well.
Right.
So yeah, it's not really asking much of me, but it doesn't really want me to go back to it. So I think I'll sip it quite slowly. We'll see. Lucy,
Yeah,
what's going
on? They've just revealed the PlayStation 5 controller.
Oh,
shit.
I thought this was like
I thought it was
Corona
a joke.
news. I didn't.
Is it
realize
the banana?
gaming.
I thought it was a joke.
Is it
I
the
thought
banana?
I thought it was a new Google Stadia controller.
Oh no, really?
It's
Wait.
interesting looking.
Wait,
You grow to love it.
Can you
Like
drop a link in
yeah,
our?
Where are you finding it?
just type in PlayStation 5
PlayStation.blog.
controller.
Yeah. What is that?
Holy shit!
Sorry. I mean, okay. If you're just listening to this and you haven't seen it yet, just pause the podcast and Google this.
You could grow to love it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the no colored buttons.
Oh, I don't know.
It looks very strange.
That's different. That's very different.
It
That
might.
looks like a
Sorry,
a
just gonna-
third-party Mad Catz controller.
Oh, I mean, it feels like.
That is kind of
Looking at it.
hideous.
So it looks like it's a play. I mean, I'm literally holding
It's the
a
color scheme, I think.
DS.
Mm.
Like
Chill shot.
I'm holding it up to the picture, and it looks like it's taller. The taller color scheme makes it look like it's weird dimensions.
It
but,
looks like
holding
a sad panda.
Aadil,
Yeah,
hold the DS4 up to the screen, because it looks almost like it's got a flat. Yeah, so it's gone for a slightly more.
But like if you hold up a controller to a picture, like this angle, like the actual little legs of the controller to the joysticks are actually probably the same. It's just see how you have the like circle. The only thing's flat on the top of the DS4. Are these circles? Now the whole thing is a flat pane.
Yeah.
And it's taller. Like
basically,
it's all it is this. Like it's just like a half-inch taller. It looks like, and contiguous.
Are the buttons inset or is it my eyes?
I mean, I can't tell. The problem is,
scroll down. There's like a side on. There's a side on view further down in the article.
Oh yeah, so the buttons are about the same. Just looking at the
they are
picture.
outset.
They're the same outset as they are currently on the DS4, roughly. Right, like
it looks like a sad panda.
Yeah, I mean the white. I mean, really, what it is what if the touchpad was slightly bigger and more, and like the everything was on the same plane.
That is very much a departure.
It looks like they've made it bigger. Like a Guillermo del Toro fucking designed pad, doesn't
because
it?
They're bigger, though.
I
think the big key difference here, if you look, is that the shoulder buttons are bigger.
Yeah.
Like look at the L1 R1 compared to the DS4 has these tiny, like it's like not even
very
a
slim.
Oh, I don't like that groove though. That like
between the two.
Between the two and between the front of it, and that's what I don't like about it.
And then the trigger looks like it has a bigger, possibly a bigger tab.
Yep.
It's hard to tell.
It's. I think Lucy, you're talking about kind of like the depth. It's not a light bar anymore. It's kind of a surround to the touchpad, and it almost looks like it's kind of three pieces stuck together.
Yeah, it's so the piece where the directional buttons and the regular buttons is like a piece of plastic that wraps around the rest of the controller, and that means that there's a space between, like there's an actual like roof, so you can't like if you put your finger right on the top of L1,
can get caught.
Right now, I can do that just at any amount, but because
how flappy's your skin, mate? Getting caught in little.
I'm very.
No, but I mean, I think it's right, because if you hit L1 sort of right at the top, you would hit L1 and then immediately hit that shell part. While right now you hit L1 and maybe
Whereas it's just like on
Xbox or a PS1,
it's just like there's no gap.
And I don't know whether they're going to add colour, maybe, because obviously
I don't like that colour. I think if it was a different colour scheme, I think it would look way better.
Oh, I think
if it was like a blue or a red and black or something like that.
I almost guarantee you the whole point of doing this is so that they can get it. So they want people like Lucy buying 1 million DS4s because she's buying absolutely 1 million Xbox.
Because I've got about 4 DS4s, which is far too many as it is.
And again, they've got, so they haven't done any coloured buttons, but they also haven't done a coloured PlayStation symbol right in that centre. As now on the DS4, it's a circle with the PlayStation logo on it. This is shaped. Yeah. This is the outline of the PlayStation.
That's why I was watching.
Oh, that's weird.
Because I was watching I'm not watching it, but it's on in the background, the Giant Bombcat, and they just put up a controller, and I was like, oh, they must have unveiled like a new Google Stadia controller or something like that, or third parties.
Okay, what I'm annoyed at.
I was like, oh, that's a PlayStation controller. I was like, it must be third party, but yeah, you can barely see the logo, and it's like the logo is iconic, you know.
I mean, I like that it's but the problem is like that makes it more like it's also metallic, so it probably shines a bit, the PlayStation button. But if it's literally like a P with a the weird hula hoop around it, which is how I see the PlayStation icon, it's a P doing the hula hoop. It might be hard. Like if you actually have to hit that button, it's not gonna feel great.
I don't know.
I mean, I rarely use the button, so it's probably fine.
Same, but
I mean, the other thing I would say
it looks like it's not. it's going to be like, I don't know. Ben was, I can't remember. Is it like the touchpad now? Is it? You don't always have to press in for it to get any.
No. So like, especially so if you just
It's just
the touchpad-
it's just kind of like swiping and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So the one thing I will say though is so the biggest thing about the PlayStation 5 controller has been like a couple months ago they came up with the little add-on that gave you the paddles on the back, and people are like,
Does this have
people are,
paddles?
well, that's or say people were assuming it's to make DS4's PS5 compatible. But the one thing they haven't showed us in any of on the official PlayStation blog is the fucking back.
Is the
Are there
back,
buttons there? I don't know. I really don't like that.
I doubt it. It doesn't
Yeah.
look. It doesn't look like there's enough space on the back to have any buttons. It's quite a chunky little.
I mean,
boy.
but they might be like really like low
Check
key.
the sensors
buttons,
on
I mean,
it.
they could be.
Or something.
I mean, they could be like tiny little paddles. You know, if they're the same size as kind of like a fingertip, they could be very, very
right.
small. I mean, there's lots of stuff that this is talking about in the article. It's interesting to kind of read it through. Like
The DualSense?
the share button's gone. That's now a create button, but they're not talking about that yet. DualSense, which has a built-in microphone array to allow you to talk without plugging a headset in.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that right above the PlayStation symbol is a multi.
That doesn't sound good.
I mean,
If you can switch the option on.
to be honest, I think I would rather have a good array, a good microphone on the controller than and put regular earbuds in than having the shitty one earbud crappy mic.
Yeah, but it's bad enough. Like on every multiplayer game, you hear somebody's children.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, any mic will pick up that, right?
It's not called a DualShock. It's called it is called the DualSense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
DualSense.
Fair enough. And that's where we'll leave that one, I suppose, while we think about it later and take it all in.
Put it in a different color scheme, and
I mean,
if it feels
they could play that.
ergonomically, I don't think it will. Just by the look of it, like that, the gaps in the plastic. Then yeah,
Well, so I mean, if
whatever.
you look at the head-on shot, you'll see that like the gaps are kind of annoying, but also the buttons clearly are higher up. Like there's a lot of travel on that L1 R1, but before you even come in line with where that like weird groove we're talking about is. So I suspect that it will register before you even have to go near that problem place. But it's a weird design because it's adding a potential. Like they're talking about accessibility and different hand sizes and whatever. So it's weird that like they've added they've made it less easy for certain like grips.
It's got the haptic feedback triggers,
Yeah.
which Xbox didn't make the most of. You know, I can only really think of Forza where it used it well. Maybe Dead Rising 3 or something.
They're so I just went onto Instagram quickly, and they've PlayStation have posted a picture of the pad. It was posted 19 minutes ago. They have already over 24,000 comments on their Instagram post.
Nice and positive.
I mean,
Oh, there we go. Let me share this with you guys. This
some
looks
people are saying
amazing.
back to the drawing board.
I think it'll be like very polarizing.
Lots of people
Yeah,
just
I mean-
tagging other people.
Yeah, but I mean, I think a lot. Yeah, until people actually play with it, I think it's just
Yeah.
people don't like change, especially
Yeah.
right now. Like,
I just
to
think
be
it's
honest, it
super
looks like
ugly.
it. Yeah, but like functionally, I think
Yeah,
it will
this
be
looks way
almost
better.
identical to the DS4, except the touchpad might be slightly better because it does like widen out.
Check that link that I sent.
Oh, I
It
can't because it'll fuck up the
Yeah.
I'll do it on my phone. I'll do it on my phone.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's have a look.
This looks marginally better. Yeah,
It's just a different shot of it.
it's just a different color. It's all in black.
Oh, it's the black. The
Oh,
one.
Oh,
you
nice.
buy. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah, I was gonna say so much of it is like.
Aesthetics. Do not show.
Oh,
something
mate,
that
you
looks
imagine.
hideous.
So I'd kind of. I think the dual tone can work, but the white and black is
Yeah.
so contrasting. If it was maybe like a bolt gun metal with a black, or like a deeper blue, or a forest
if it was
green, or
transparent
something
and
with that
purple,
black.
everyone would go crazy for it.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's just. Well, also, like, let's be honest. If you're
I
gonna
never
make a
liked
black and
those.
white controller, you don't want the white bits where your sweaty fucking hands are constantly touching it. Like, that's a controller that's gonna just suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
All those Cheetos and Mountain Dew dust. Yeah. That'd be good.
Right.
Good luck.
Let's move on.
Anyway.
Let's move on. We've got one game we have to talk about this week.
Oh yeah, that game that I played a little bit of, but like 10 minutes.
We'll throw to Lucy,
Yeah,
because I think she's played a reasonable amount.
Finished it.
she finished it.
Mm-hmm.
All of the amounts, Ben. All of the amounts.
Yeah.
Finished it last Thursday.
Oh, nice.
In Other Waters from Jump Over the Edge. Ben was kindly sent some codes and kindly forwarded one on to me. Played it on Switch, which is a good place to play it. It is a let's call it abstract narrative adventure game. It's very reminiscent of like text adventures, but this is very less choice driven in like dialogue trees.
Right.
It's more the choice is more of like exploration as such. You're basically this AI which is helping out this xenobiologist who is she's gone to this foreign planet somewhere in our solar system, or it could be a fake planet. Well, I think it's a moon or something. I can't really remember. I think it might be a planet. Anyway, fictionalized planet, and she's basically exploring the oceans on this planet. This planet has ocean life. It's discovered that there's plant life, there's animal life, there's on this planet.
Park
And
life.
and she's been called. She basically got a distress call from this person who you find. I don't want to spoil it. You find more about this person and the relationship with this woman further along in the story. But you're basically an AI who's in control of a like swimsuit, and you're helping her along the way. It's very much as I said, exploration game, but you're very much like a marine biologist, like finding all these different like flora and fauna and cataloging them, and the more you catalog them, the more you find out about them, find about their behavior, theories of why they behave like this, their biology, and their whole link to the whole ecosystem of this planet. And I think if you enjoy like that kind of stuff, that's what kind of like to buy Abzu, just discovering like the new creatures and stuff like that, and just learning. These are all fictionalized creatures. It's a fictionalized planet, but the writing in the game, it just builds up such a great universe, a great world, and a great story. In like, oh, I can picture what this looks like. I can picture what this animal, what the equivalent would be on Earth, or something like that. And once you go to like dock on your main ship and stuff like that, there are different docking stations throughout the world. You can like upload the you collect like specimens and stuff like that as you go, and you can upload those to a lab and study them. And it's very much an automated process. You're not literally doing it yourself, but then you get like this database, and it shows you, oh, this animal, what are the theories behind this animal, its behavior. And then eventually, once you collect enough data, they show you like what a sketch of the animal looks like, which is quite nice. So instead of everything just being, it does a good job of allowing you to picture what these things look like in your head, but also giving you a sketch at the very end. When you collected enough data for them, it's like that kind of carrot on the end of the stick. It's like, now I know what it looks like officially. And it's like, it doesn't have to be there, but it's a nice touch to the game where it's like, oh, I've learned so much about this, and now I can even though I've pictured it in my head, now I can see exactly what it looks like, and it doesn't take away anything from what you would have thought it looked like previously. But this is very much a 2D game. It's got a very abstract look to it, whereas something like Subnautica or Abzu is like first person or a 3D adventure game. This is very much a 2D. You're basically looking at like a cockpit and like a it's like a dial of a diving watch. This very much wanted me to like purchase like a nice. But
you bought another watch.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It really made me want to start looking. I was like, no, I'm not going to start looking at like Breitling watches. I'm not going to do that. But it's like
I wore a watch for a day this week, last week, because I found
I put on a watch today.
I found my like rings and watches bag when I was cleaning my room because of COVID. Because what else do you do? And I was like, oh, I've got. And of course, they're all of my watches have dead batteries, or they're like old pocket watches which haven't survived the moves well, so they no longer wind up, which sucks. But one of them is just an old Seiko automatic watch. And so I was like, cool, I will put it on. And then I forgot how, until they're properly like wound up, they just, like when they are coming off of just not having any energy, because they're automatic, like they're kinetic, so they wind when you move. They like, I was like, cool, I'm wearing a watch. And then within 3 hours, I look, I'm like, wow, it's like a half hour off. Great, this is totally useless. But I did confirm my suspicion, which so I obviously have my my wrist tattoo, and like some people were like, well, wrist seems really weird. What if like you go for a job interview and people judge you? And I was like, I'm pretty sure a watch band will just cover this where I've put it. But I didn't bother like actually figuring that out before I got it. And then I put the watch on, and it like literally covered it exactly. I'm like, I'm the best.
Or you just keep your wrists firmly on the table.
Palms down.
Or like this. This isn't a. I mean, yes, it's.
Why are your hands doing this? Why is this the way that you motion things?
And it's like, oh, it's because I'm used to being cuffed. I mean, oh shit.
Anyway,
that's it. I could never wear a short sleeve shirt to a job interview again. Not that I'm ever going to go to a job interview, because fuck working for other people. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, back to In Other Waters. Yeah, you're looking at it from like a very 2D
top-downy.
It's very much just the interface you're looking at. Like this very much like you're looking at like what a dial on like a spacecraft or an airship, or
it almost looks like a radar, like a sonar type of screen. Like
and it's got a very tactile feel to it though. So you're like moving these dials. You're like when you're trying to navigate and like go through the water using like this sextant and stuff, and it's like it's got this very tactile feel to it, even though it is just this 2D interface. So like you're pressing, well, I played on Switch, I guess on mouse and keyboard it probably feel a little bit less tactile because you're just clicking with the mouse, but you're using like the triggers to swap over to like your dock, and like you're using
that's really cool.
Like different face buttons to do different actions, like bring
so
up
like the mapping is like
navigate,
really 1-to-1.
Send out a sonar. So it's.
Well, I might have to try. So I mean, I like I said, I played very little of it on the PC, but I played it mouse and keyboard, and you're right. Like a lot of it is. You basically are mousing around between the controls.
Yeah.
I might plug the controller in and try it again, because I really like this idea of like, really, like you said, like controlling, like this is the button that does that, because it does feel like with the mouse and keyboard, like you're just in front of a GUI and you're just like, and that makes you feel like divorced from the thing, where if each button had a specific command.
Absolutely.
Then you could be like, I am doing thing X versus I am moving the cursor between thing X and Y.
it'd be a lot more passive on like mouse and keyboard, and just I think at the very start it does like throw you in the deep end, for want of a better term, right at the beginning with the control scheme, but you really do lock it down after a few goes, and it's like, oh, it just becomes second nature. It's like,
Right.
I know where the sonar button is. It's like X at the top, and then it's just like, yeah, I know how to get the sextant. I know how to, use my propellants to go to that place. So, but yeah, it's got that very, I'm using all the buttons and like all the face buttons, all the triggers to get through this. So it even though it is just very much a text adventure, it brings that interactivity to it. And there are things where it's like, okay, I want to explore this area more, I'm going to stay more in this area, and then there's things that affect the gameplay, in such as like you've got these 2 meters, you've got your like thrusters, and then you've got your oxygen, and you have to manage those. Like in some areas it's like, oh, there's a toxic clouds here, so your oxygen's going to deplete faster, or you're swimming in strong currents, you're going to have to use more of your power, you're going to have to use boosters and stuff like that. So you're managing these resources, and like some of the organic plant and animal matter can that you pick up can like give you an extra oxygen boost or energy boost, like that. So you are like micromanaging those resources as well, which is another element to gameplay.
Does it feel with that kind of like resource management type thing? So a lot of something like Subnautica was kind of like about survival. You had to build certain things, you had to eat, you had to do certain things. Does it have that survival element to it, or is it sort of forgiving enough that actually it's kind of like, I've run out of energy, I can still get where I'm going, it's just going to take me longer to do so? It's
massively forgiving in that you can. I think I ran out of oxygen once, or power, and it's like you run out of those things, but it's like, oh, you're just transported back to base. You don't lose any of your findings or your specimens or anything like that. You're literally just transported back, so it's not punishing in that way. But it does give it that bit of tension, even though in the end it's like, okay, I have enough like plant and animal matter to give me enough oxygen boost or this and that, but it's like you're always thinking, oh, when will I next come upon something that's going to give me enough oxygen, or should I carry more resources for the oxygen or more for the thrusters and stuff like that. So it does have that tension, and a bit, it's not like, oh, it doesn't matter, in some areas it doesn't matter, where it's like, I have plentiful oxygen, I just need to bring enough for the thrusters and the power, whatever. But it's like in some areas it's just like, yeah, I really need to think about what I'm going to bring with me, because I only have like a limited inventory, like 12 slots, and like each item fills up 1 slot. It's like, oh, I can only take so many things. So there's a bit of a, what should I take, or a bit of balance there. But some of the objects interact with the environment and stuff like that. So it's got a decent amount of gameplay. So it's not just a interactive novel or something like that.
Sure.
So. But in terms of the story, I enjoyed the story. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's like, by the time the ending came, which I enjoyed, and it wrapped up in a satisfying way, but it's just like, this is, I wouldn't say cliche, but it's like, I could tell it was going there. It's like, I've seen this story in other interplanetary explorations, narratives before. It's like, oh, of course that happened. So, but it was still, it was a decent enough story. It kept me going,
Is it secondary sort of to the gameplay experience? Is it just there to kind of drive you along a little bit and link various things together?
I'd say it should be crucial in this game, because even though you have that gameplay and the cataloging of like the marine biologists, you are like, the reason why you're going to these places is, your primary objectives are to find this woman who contacted you, who sent out a distress signal, and that is the driving force of the narrative in the game. And it's like, when you find out why she was there and what it was leading to, it's like, okay, I've seen this before, but
Yeah.
the story's well written enough, so it's not like, oh, this is just cliches. It's still okay. This carried me through, and it was good enough to carry me through. It's just I wish it had been a bit more surprising.
Right.
It'd gone somewhere where it's like, because I was thinking, oh, is that where it's going? Is that where it's going? It can't surely go that way because I've seen that several times before, but it
Right.
still did. But it doesn't make it any less
Yeah.
well written or well accomplished or anything like that. So
Yeah, fair.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a beautiful looking game. It's so striking that art. As I said, it made me want another watch. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I took several screenshots and I think it's not the best part of the game. I think the game is very much a part of you know some of all its parts, but you can't deny that the art is great. It's,
Nice.
really striking, and
Yeah.
the different color palettes change depending on where you are. Like sometimes you go to like the abyssal plane, and it's black offset with like these reds and greens, and it's really good looking. So
Nice.
just look at a few screenshots and see if that tickles your fancy.
Yeah, definitely. Adil, having only played a small amount of this, I think we find a lot of times these days people only give games a very, very short amount of time before maybe they move on to something else. Like, has this done enough in 10 minutes to kind of keep you interested and want to go back to it?
Yeah, I mean, I it's a weird time. It was the first game I really tried to pick up after a long, like, as we all know, hiatus from really playing games regularly. And I think it just wasn't the right kind of game to grip me. And
I think if you played it on Switch, it would have gripped you more.
Yeah, and I think what I might do is grab
Plug
a
in that
controller.
controller, yeah.
Yeah, and possibly even boot my Mac into Windows, because I'm sure even my shitty MacBook Air can play it when it's out on Windows.
Yeah, it runs
like
fine on Switch, so.
Yeah, but like it just was like to be honest, it was like, oh wow, okay, so there's some depth here and there's some exploration and cool. I've played 45 minutes, an hour, I'll come back to it. And then I just didn't quite get back to it. And part of that was because I wasn't playing a lot of games and it just wasn't the right type of game. But it was definitely not a game where it was like, oh, I'm bored, never coming back. It was, it was kind of like, I'm not sure I'm in the right headspace to do this game.
Yeah, it's I can definitely see it being I need to be in this right headspace. Like, so there's some games that I just don't want to play because I don't want to read anything, and then I go through like a period where it's like, give me all the narrative, text adventures, and it's just, you need to be in a mood where it's like, oh, I'm gonna read. And I should say that you can like zoom in and zoom out in this game, but the text is very small on the Switch.
Oh, okay.
I did find that for like the latter part of the game, I did put it in the dock and play it on TV, which helped massively. The text can be really small, and another nitpick is that when the text, when you're speaking to this woman whose suit you're controlling, when that text pops up, it just scrolls and it's like, oh, then when she's finished talking, you get this little dial and it's like counts down, and then after that it's like, oh, it's gone. And it's like, you can look at the discussion in like a log afterwards, but it's like, I wish there was a setting, because a lot of the time you are like floating through the water and you were like reading like text on like, it gives you like text around, oh, you're looking at this animal, you're looking at this plant life and stuff like that. So you've got text in this corner and you've got text down there, And then when you're on the dock, sometimes you want to go into these other screens and read this, and yet that text is still going and it's still churning over.
Right.
I wish there was
yeah.
an option where you could just be like, don't move this text along until I give you a button prompt and I say,
Yeah.
yes, I've read this text. So, because it's like, oh, I'm going through this water and I'm in this toxic gas, I want to read what's over here, and yet this woman's talking to me, and it's like, oh, you know, that text is gonna disappear, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's surprising because that's
Better
like,
text options.
I mean, that's a thing that's been in video games for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I mean, it doesn't strike me as a game that wants to be super pressury, because like some games who do that, it's because like, oh, it's real time and like you just have to fucking pay attention. And it doesn't strike me as the type of game that does that. So it seems like a weird oversight to just be like, let's chill. Hit
Yeah,
next.
just put in the option. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wasn't a major thingy, but it was something that I was like, I did notice. It's like text is scrolling by, and I can't literally put on the thrusters, get the extra boosters, read about this,
It's just too many
fish.
things to try and do.
Yeah, it was.
When that is kind of not allowing you that option to to take one of those a little bit more in a relaxed pace. Yeah, exactly.
Because it is a relaxing pace game, even the times of like a bit more tension and pressure. It is still just very much a play at your own pace game. So that was a bit but
yeah, fair.
on the whole, I did enjoy it. Yeah,
Nice.
I played it for like 7 straight hours one day.
I was just going to
Yeah.
ask. So it's a not a super short game, right? Like
No, it's
like a medium
longer than I
chunky.
thought. Yeah, I think it actually gives you your full game time. I think it took me about 8 hours, and I'm thinking about 85% of the taxonomy tree full. So
Okay.
it does give you the option to, at the end of the game, to continue exploring. I do want to do that. I just think what prevents it is like, going from this area to like another area, it can take a bit of time, because you are going from marker to marker to marker, and there is no like quick. You can get dropped off at like these different stations. I think there's 4 or 5 in total, but there's no quick travel to like a certain area. I wish there was like post game, but there isn't. So it'd be the case of, I got to go from this station and go all the way, across these ridges, across these abysses, and to try and get to this area and collect more data. So I might do it over time, but
Right.
it'll be like,
So I mean,
Animal Crossing at that time.
but like, I think it's worth asking, like, how. I mean, we both, to different degrees, have that completionist urge. How much does this game like put that pressure on?
It doesn't, because as I said, the driving force is that narrative. Everything around you is like, once you get a few essential items, you know that they can contribute to your power and your oxygen. Once you've got those, it doesn't force you. It doesn't, other than on your map, you can see places where it's like, if I go here, I can collect more data on this weird crab thing, but it doesn't pressure you. It's not essential.
Right.
It's just very much how much you want to do it as a completionist thing. But for me, I very much got that. The world was built enough, like I saw it as serving the purpose of, it's building this world, it's fleshing out the world, and I got a pretty good grasp on that kind of world and all the animals and all the like interlinking like ecosystems and stuff like that. I got a pretty good grasp on that, and that felt fulfilling enough where I don't need to go, find out about how this crab mates or anything.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's great that it goes that kind of in depth.
Yeah. There's some
stuff,
technical
but
language in there, and I'm like, Okay, I'm not a marine biologist, but cool.
Nice.
I-
And
I
but it's
get
good that it
the flow.
allows you not to have to go that in depth as well.
Yeah.
That is extra, allowing you to have that little bit of completionist sort of thing that you want to either fill that out or you want to know more about these things.
Yeah. It's a super interesting world. I think it was like written and designed and developed by like one guy. I forget what his name is. I think it's something. I think it's James Martin. But yeah, it's a really impressive. You can tell it was a labor of love. Like you
Yeah.
know, him just he had that
Doing
in
his
his
thing.
head and he wanted to put that down. It's like yeah, he created a really captivating, interesting sounding world. So
Nice.
fair play
Good.
to him.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it is very much so.
James Martin,
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Isn't that the cook?
he's the
Isn't that
chef,
the
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturday morning
Maybe
kitchen.
Graham.
And James Marsden is the actor.
Yes.
Yes.
Cyclops. And
He's in Sonic. Yep.
Gareth Damian Martin. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's close.
I knew Martin was in there.
Yeah. Close enough. Right, so for those of you not on the video, Adil's dinner's turned up, so I think we're going to finish there for this week.
That's fair.
Let's talk about the beers that we've drunk very swiftly, so your food doesn't get cold.
That's fine. It's quite warm.
Good. Lucy. 2 stouts.
Yeah. The step up from the Cloudwater and Rock Leopard was a solid beer. I did enjoy it. It set out to do something that even though it's one note, it set out and it did it well.
Right.
Very much that nice coffee taste in like a medium body stout. But when I cracked open the Surreal Stout, the Dark Arts Hazelnut stout from Magic Rock, I mean the hazelnut is just
So you kind of fell in
it's
love with
there.
it immediately,
yeah,
right?
immediately just cracking everything out. It's just like just the smell of it. It's divine, and this just does so much more. Like it's got way more depth to it. Way more nuance with like the vanilla and the chocolate, and it was bitter as well. I really like that bitterness, but it didn't have that like acridity that is just too overwhelming. That very much like coffee, you know, when it's just a bit too much. This didn't have that at all. Very well balanced. If you love hazelnut, if you don't like hazelnut, probably don't get this beer. But if you like hazelnut, you'll be 100% happy with this because
Nice.
Fair.
that nuttiness, that roastiness, so much. That's definitely the clear winner today. But
Cool.
that's not to say that the Cloudwater was bad.
Yeah.
Just a lot better.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Adil.
I think I like them both. I think it's the Mosaic IPA from Black's Brewery. I mean, one of the things that it does that Mosaic. It does a single hop IPA exactly how you want it.
Yeah.
But it also finished in that really resinous way that I was surprised at, and then ended up really working well in subsequent tastes. It's just really solid beer that does what it's doing well, but also has a bit of something else. So it's like it's not just, hey, this is a quintessential Mosaic IPA. It's like you're getting all what you want from Mosaic IPA, but here's a slight twist. And the Bird at Sea I really liked. I liked how, I guess it's a milk stout that doesn't really taste like a milk stout, just marginally, which I like. I like that the lactose wasn't super sweet. I like my milk stouts kind of, even though that the whole point is that sweetness, because the lactose doesn't get broken down. I like that it was kind of not so sweet. But it was, I guess, it was just less interesting, not because of that, but because most of the taste was just like, cool, now you're having this like sort of burnt coffee toffee taste. Done. And then so like and it melds really well with that sweetness. But that's sort of all that happened. And honestly, I think I might have picked that one if the foretaste lasted. But the fact that like I drank it, was like, oh, this is interesting, and then it was gone, and it was a really nice, lovely, excellent finish that had like longevity. But I just kept reaching for it because I wanted to taste it, and I kept interacting with that lovely finish way more than the taste because it just didn't last, and it was just too fleeting. So like that kind of pushes it out.
Yeah, that's fair. Good. I don't know for me. I really don't know. Neither of these beers are neither of them kind of stand out in any way. The Juice Forsyth was a nice fruity taste, but I didn't get much beer from it. It's very, very juicy. And yes, it's called Juice Forsyth, and it is a juicy bonus fruited IPA, whatever that means. But it was just too fruit juice for me. It wasn't enough beer. There just wasn't quite anything there. The Order of the Faith from Northern Monk and Alpha Delta again was alright, just wasn't doing a huge amount. Solid grapefruit taste, a little bit of bitterness on there, just maybe a little bit too thin and a little bit too wet for an IPA. It could have been a pale, but the flavour was just a little bit lacking. It wasn't very big. There wasn't a huge amount going on with it. So I'm struggling to think actually which one I would pick, to pick up again. I think I'll, just because it's much more of a beer, I'll go with Order of the Faith this week. But I think if I'm in Morrison's, and I have had a couple of the other beers from Morrison's, which were the the Clairvoyance from Magic Rock, which is really nice, which is like a 7.5% IPA, and then one of the other ones, which was okay. Again, I'll try and find that one. Where's that? What is it? There it is. Oh, the Brewdog and Northern Monk Vermont Sessions. So that and the Clairvoyance, I think, would be two that I would pick up again. Beers that if I'm in Morrison's, I would grab. I really don't think I'd grab either of these again. So yeah, I think I will just pick Order of the Faith this week because it is much more of a beer than the Juice Forsyth from Brew York.
That's fair.
So yeah.
Damn. Well, we can't all be winners.
That's exactly, absolutely. Not every week. Hopefully, next week is full of winners, but we'll find out. We'll see. Isolation, quarantine beers come through for us. They definitely will. I imagine they will at some point. If you want to get hold of us and talk to us about the beers you're drinking, whether you've been allowed out of the house or even gone to the supermarket, or if you just stayed home and played, every single game you can get your hands on, you can do so at TankedUpCast on Instagram, on Twitter. You can go to outoflives.net to read some articles that have been posted, watch some of the older videos that we've been putting up. You can go to our YouTube page. There's lots of ways to kind of get in touch with us. You can be a Jake and rudely comment on articles and we'll find them. Fuck you, Jake.
What an arse.
Yeah.
Absolute arse. Even in this climate, you can find a place to be an arse.
Yeah, there's plenty of videos on YouTube to go and put horrible comments on because you're an awful person. No, don't do that at all. Never do that.
Some videos like, really? Now, in a time like this, you want to be an arse?
I mean, yeah, because
You
they've got nothing
shouldn't
better
ever.
to do.
But like, come on. Go get Corona.
If people want to send positive vibes to all of us,
Run out in the street.
you can do. There's no one there to run
Play
them
in
down,
traffic.
mate. I wouldn't worry
Play in
about it.
limited
There's no fucking traffic.
Run on the M6.
Lucy, you are at Juicy
M42's
Loose
always
9.
busy.
You are at
Sorry.
Juicy Loose 9. Almost everywhere. Adil, you are at the Omniarch, almost everywhere.
Yep.
And I am at Nova_47, almost everywhere. Obviously on the places that we inhabit.
Yeah, I mean, we also have our Discord, which we'll probably post. Maybe we'll tweet out an invite on the day this drops. but Switch codes are terrible to exchange, and they might not even get things for things like Animal Crossing. But I will tweet me at the Omniarch, and we'll figure out a way to play games together on the notoriously difficult platform that is.
Yes, perfect. So, for this week, we have been tanked up. See ya.
Ciao.
PSA: the Goofy movie turned 25 today. Bye.
Oh dear.
Everyone needs to know that.
I think I might have seen
Great
that in the
movie.
cinema.
Oh wow,
no.
you
Yeah.
are a cool dude.
Mate,
I mean that sincerely.
10.
www.outoflives.net